Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 80. We've made it to the big 80. We're officially really old and decrepit. Just kidding. 80-year-old people are not old and decrepit unless you're in your teens and you think 30 is that old. So, thanks everybody for joining us for episode 80 of the Daily BLP. I'm your host, Brian, also joined vigilantly by our good friend and neighbor from way over in Denver, Colorado, Matt Dugan. How you doing, Matt?
Doing good. Glad to be here. Happy Thursday. Hope your day's going well, my friend.
Yeah, it's been quite the day, I suppose. Just some carryover stuff from yesterday, but I know we've only got you for a short period of time, so I wanted to get your thoughts on some recent news. I'm just getting caught up on here in the afternoon. This NBA and poker gambling scandal. You hear about this thing?
Yeah, crazy. And just laughing just because of how crazy it is, not because it's a good thing. It's just like it's humorous how crazy it is almost. Just with the poker with the I guess X-ray tables, and then they were doing gambling, and then it was linked to mafia. I mean, the FBI director gave the report on it, and it's just like all these different worlds just colliding. It feels like.
Yeah, these games, I guess, in New York that were fixed and kind of being backed up by, underground, mafia and organized crime and stuff like that. You don't hear about that kind of stuff anymore. Maybe it's so underground now, but it's obviously not gone. And I didn't get to watch the whole clip of the announcement. I was watching it as it was getting close to being time to go on the air. But yeah, it's just so I don't know all the details yet. I heard Chauncey Billups' name. That's what sparked my interest, because what I like to do sometimes, I jump on Google and I see what business news is trending, versus search and clicks and stuff like that. And it was number one.
Yeah.
It said just the name Chauncey Billups. I'm like, he's old and retired, man. That's
right.
What the heck is he up to? And all of a sudden, boom, NBA gambling scandal. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Crazy.
Apparently, between the poker and the NBA thing, tens of millions of dollars in inside information. Like I saw one headline, something about inside information on like LeBron and stuff like that, or I don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about, and to think who might be involved that we don't know, and it's just it shows you that stuff really is going on, and it begs the question too. With these are guys that are already making pretty good money, so it's either just greed or mismanagement of money. But yeah, it's crazy to think it's still going on, especially with. I mean, how advanced technology is, it's probably way easier to track it. Cameras are everywhere. So, I mean, you're bound, in my opinion, to get caught in this day and age. So it was only a matter of time. But yeah, like Terry Rozier was one of the players that they said was involved, Scary Terry. And yeah, I mean, it's wild to think these big names are a part of something like that. I feel like we haven't had a big one like this in the past decade. I mean, last year we had Michael Porter's brother.
Mm-hmm.
He got in trouble with it. I think he was on the Trailblazers too, if I'm not mistaken. So something with I think that was something with Portland. It seems like.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It's like typical. These things fit into specific types of cultures. Like whether it be a criminal culture or underground or something, things like that. And it's like the rings tend to resonate from an epicenter. But yeah, this little headline here, it looks like via the New York Post, LeBron James dragged into NBA gambling scandal after friend of LeBron, sold injury details.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I didn't see that one. That's
among those arrested in NBA-linked gambling. Dang. And Chauncey's coaching, right?
Yes, Chauncey is the coach. I think Terry was still playing. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And Terry, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it really is wild.
Damon Jones allegedly sold information about LeBron James.
Interesting.
Via gambling signal. Here's the list of games in illegal betting accusations. Okay, here we go. This is on Forbes. Everybody, if you want to go out there and find it. Forbes has got a story on there. I hate magazine or news websites. They're so full of like just ads and garbage. Like when you're trying to load them up, you can't find anything. You're afraid you're going to click on something. Okay.
Right. Yep.
Lakers versus Bucks for 2023. This Feb 9, March 23rd, Hornets, Pelicans, March 24th, Trailblazers, Bulls, April 23, Magic, Cavs, into January 24, Lakers, Thunder, Jan 24, Raptors, Clippers, and then March, Raptors, Kings. Those are the only ones it's showing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, that doesn't seem like very many games.
Yeah.
But maybe that's all they have information on, or maybe when people are doing these organizations are doing this, they're just being really specific about what they're doing it, so they're harder to catch or something. I don't know.
Right. Very interesting.
I wonder what the fallout is going to be to this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there'll probably be some plea deals, giving up more information if the mafia's involved. I mean, there's so many just different aspects to this that I don't even know. I mean, I know they're in big trouble. That's
Yeah,
how I put it.
I think like Terry and Chauncey and someone else was like 3 people were apprehended.
Yeah.
They were
Yep.
literally arrested.
Yeah. Yep. Believe they were.
Huh. I mean, for these things to be happening with these games, you would think there has to be people involved with these teams or close to these teams in order to get information about making things happen, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm looking. They have the whole list of defendants on the justice.gov site.
These NBA games allegedly involved fake injuries and leaked info in gambling scandal. Yeah, Terry was on the Hornets back in 23.
Yep, that's how I know him. I saw him play a few times. Very interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Oh, I'm sure a lot more will come out as well in the coming weeks here.
Yeah, I think it's, it's just the beginning of their season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw a headline where Wemby scored 40 points or something in his game. You get some good press when cool things are happening, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like this pops out and just punches you in the face as either a fan or, people that are involved in this industry where, I mean, players are one thing, right? They're the most popular part of the league, but then you've got all the people who are employed on the teams and in the the stadiums and stuff, hundreds of people.
Yeah.
For each team.
Yeah, no, it's really crazy, and it's just surprising, all the involvement in this, and it wasn't just gambling; it was the poker and all this stuff. It was very organized and was going on for a little bit. It seems like.
Did they say anything about whether or not the NBA stuff was linked back to the criminal underground stuff or the mafia stuff?
I think I mean, I don't know for sure. I've only kind of perused social media a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's including, I know the mob or mafia, whatever you want to call it, got indicted, it looks like, with a bunch of them. And then they also arrested some NBA. So I'd assume it's connected. I'm not sure, though.
Man. Yeah, so Damon Jones, assistant coach for the Lakers, he's the other guy involved in the betting scheme. He's been coaching since 2014 after his 11-year NBA career. That is nutso. Yeah, I think that's the biggest news of the day, honestly, for me.
Yeah, definitely. Probably for the week even, almost. I mean, that's big stuff right there, besides
depending on
AWS.
how much more comes out of it. I can imagine it's going to be a lot of content for all the different sports stations like ESPN and Fox Sports and all those guys, all the CBS, everybody that covers NBA is just going to be all they're talking about.
100%.
From a broker's perspective and someone getting into it, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's any place for it. I think, with gambling and poker and all the stuff going on, the only thing you have to go off of is the word and the trust that, things are being done digitally. Well, I can't even say that word. Being done right.
Yeah.
Can't say that word today, but just like done the right way. It's honest. And I think I mean, it's just so hard when you're dealing with, all this gambling and all this stuff. It just shows kind of, pay attention to your things, always pay attention to what's going on, because there can be some things going on. I think it gives the industry maybe a bad light, because I think there are a lot of people trying to do it the right way, trying to keep kids out of it, trying to help with gambling addiction, all that. But I think this just gives more fuel to the fire that gambling is bad and all these things are bad, when, if done the right way and done properly. I don't generally think they're bad things, but obviously anything can become bad if done the wrong way. So I just think this sheds a bad light, but also glad, they took care of it. And I mean, I don't want anyone to, go away for a long time. I don't think that's worth it for anything unless you've done something terribly bad. But I think, maybe setting a little bit of an example, like, hey, really don't do this, could maybe be beneficial to keep this away. But no matter what, I don't think I don't think this goes away forever. People are always going to try to do this, but I just think it brings bad light to the industry.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Who might, and because I think I heard a little bit as I was leaving my office, and the news conference was playing from a couple hours ago, but something about this had something to do with online gambling too. There was an online portion of this.
Yeah,
Wayne might have some good perspective on this. That might be somebody good for you to reach out to.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe like, hey, what's your thoughts on this? Have you ever run into cheaters and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, I know he actually just wrote a book with Joe Matten as well, called Betting on Yourself. So if anyone out there is looking to read a new book, Winning in Business, Poker, and AI, he just wrote a book. So I saw that come through. So that was pretty cool.
That sounds cool.
Yep.
What else? Let's see if there's anything else noteworthy trending. Looks like Target's going to be doing some layoffs. That's interesting. Target cuts 1,800 corporate jobs in its first major layoffs in a decade.
Interesting.
Maybe they're cutting all those corporate people that made stupid marketing decisions over the last couple of years.
Yeah, you never know.
We don't have to get into what those are, but I think everybody knows what those are. But, I mean, I go to Target every once in a while. We don't have one where I live. We have one down here in Sheboygan where the office is, and up in Green Bay. And my wife loves going to Target for, certain types of, things that you can only get there. Kids love it because they got lots of toys and good selection of Legos. But that's interesting. 1,800 corporate jobs. This time of season isn't when you usually see those things go away.
Right, exactly.
This is ramp up season.
Yep, 100%. Will be interesting.
I will say I learned something about corporate retail. A good buddy of mine used to work for Kohl's in their corporate credit division, handling all their data and transactional kind of stuff. And he was in the ones and zeros of the stuff. And he would always tell me, like, it was either end of September or beginning of October, like, he wouldn't get laid off, but because they still needed those guys in case, like, transactions started messing up or there were problems with cards or something, right? But they weren't allowed to do anything in the systems, touch anything, like, after 1st of October. It's like, ready or not, here we go. Everything's locked in. You can't mess with anything because it's holiday season and we can't afford for anything to screw up. So I wonder if they just kind of, they've locked in their plans for the season. Here's what we're going to do. Guess what? All you guys, we don't need you anymore.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder I mean, 1,800 corporate jobs across the company, roughly 8% of its corporate workforce. Largest round of layoffs in a decade. Retail is fighting to get back to growth and poised to get a new, I hate ads. Come on, why you got to pop up? To get a new CEO in February. So they're getting a new CEO. Combination of 1,000 employee layoffs, about 800 positions that will no longer be filled. So they're eliminating them. So they got the guess what, your job has been eliminated notice. I've gotten those before. Those aren't fun.
Yeah, not at all.
Those are always those ones, you're too chicken to fire me, so you're just going to say my job's eliminated. About 8% to cut Target's corporate workforce, according to the memo. I'm trying to figure out what type of employees these are getting cut. Shares fallen 65% since their all-time high in 2021. Wow. Wonder if they're all marketing employees.
Yeah, never know.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see how they do this Christmas season.
Yeah, no, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they operate, see what's going on. Yeah, to your point, just interesting timing for this, but they're a big company, so assuming they know what they're doing, we'll I guess we'll just have to wait and find out.
You know what's crazy about looking for what's like important in the news if you're going by Google Trends pages? It's almost all entertainment based stuff.
Right.
It's like besides the Chauncey Billups thing, what at the top, which it is entertainment based because NBA is entertainment, but it's got a business bend to it. I mean, it's all people, entertainers, music, sports, stuff. I mean, the top 50 things are like that. And it makes me sit back and wonder, like, man, people are addicted to entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, it'll get them to react quickest to things, even to things that don't really mean anything, important in their lives.
Right.
Which is interesting.
It is interesting.
Beauty queen. It's like that's in the top 20. I'm like, wow, it's crazy. So if you want a trend, just jump on, piggyback on top of some, seemingly meaningless entertainment story.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, man. Cool. It's about 4:17. You probably got to bounce out. I know you said you got some stuff going on, and I want you to hang on, thinking you can't get out of here. So
sounds good. No, yeah, it was glad to be here. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy Thursday. We got some good football on tonight. Got NBA back, got hockey back. So it's a sports watcher's paradise right now. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep. Later, Matt.
See ya.
All right, I'm lonely again. I'm all on my lonesome. You just got me. Yeah, that NBA thing aside, I don't know. It's just okay. Big surprise. I mean, it is a surprise, but the cynical one part of me, which is relatively small. I'm not a very cynical guy, but the cynic in me is saying, like, I always knew it. I always knew the games were fixed, especially when my team loses. But yeah, other than that, what's going on in the world? Let's see. Today was kind of a catch-up day as far as paying attention to new client stuff going on. We've got this brand new revenue cycle management client that we brought in, started up yesterday. We were out on site. I wasn't, but some of our staff was there today. Got to sit down with their biller that's retiring. So that's super awesome. We didn't necessarily think that was going to happen based on our meeting yesterday with their new office manager, but the biller was there, and she was very nice and very helpful with things, for our staff that was there. So that's a good thing. And I guess that kind of moral of that is when you get into situations with new clients, when you might be stepping into something that doesn't seem like it's going to be very friendly, or maybe you have to deal with somebody who you jumped to a conclusion and thought it wasn't going to be, just be careful. Be careful not to burn a bridge before you even had a chance to find out what the real reality of the situation was. Like I learned when I was really young, it's not a good idea to jump to conclusions because you're usually jumping in a hole. So, but it was a good meeting today. Learned a lot more stuff, got access to more things. So we should be really poised to help this new client jump forward and get back on top of where they want to be with their revenue. Other than that, a little bit, I'm still working on, I think I mentioned this maybe 1 or 2 shows ago, this StoryBrand framework stuff. So you know how it is, you're ADD and you're scrolling and the algorithm throws something at you that you think you want, and sometimes just so happen you do. So I started jumping down this rabbit hole of Donald Miller and his StoryBrand framework, and I haven't read the book. I probably will get it and read it, but I'm just learning. So I jumped into the StoryBrand.ai free trial today, and it helps you create I think they call it a brand guide or something like that. So it asks you a bunch of questions, and then it pops you in the framework. It gives you the character, what they want, what the problem is, boom, boom, all the way to the end, right? Success, failure. And did it first for one of our company brands, Panacea Health, and it seemed to be, well, this isn't bad. You can still tell it's AI doing it. So it's kind of generic. It really is, but it gives you the opportunity to kind of like, it's almost like hitting a button. I'm talking about gambling. It's almost like hitting a button on a video slot machine, you know, regenerate. Oh, that looks good. Let's no regenerate. No, I like this one. Oh, I like the other one better. I can't get back to it. So, but, and some of, you know, it lets you kind of type in there if you want to change a word and stuff. But one of the things that it doesn't do is when you get into it in the beginning, right, at the StoryBrand.ai, I encourage people with businesses or wanting to understand what this is, go to it. Just get on the free trial. You just need your email and you create a password. You don't have to buy it, 7 days, whatever. If you just do the fully free thing, you don't have to put in any information for after 7 days, go into a pro account. But all it lets you do is create this guide. I think they call it brand guide. I could be wrong. But anyway, I encourage you to do it because you go through the questions and it spits it out. And it's like, oh, there's the whole hero's journey, right? We're the guide. We're guiding the hero to, their success. But it is relatively generic. And if you make like, okay, I like the first, second, and third, but the fourth is getting a little off, which tends to happen with AI. As you get further away from your original, it just kind of degrades. But let's say the third, I want to adjust the third thing. What you can't do is, because if you adjust that third thing, it doesn't adjust everything else for you. Everything stays the same. But in this whole framework, everything's tied together in the flow of, your client, what do they want? What's the problem that you're going to solve? You're the guide, blah, 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 right? If you change a little bit about your guide, it doesn't, and it might not no longer fit with all the other things. So you might just have to hit delete and redo it, which it doesn't take that much time. It feels to me like a really pretty graphical user interface built on top of a chat GPT prompt that they figured out, right? I could probably go into my chat GPT account, say, hey, I want to create a new agent or prompt and based on the StoryBrand framework, and say, hey, these are the questions I want you to ask. And I want you to build out this framework based on the answers I give. I guarantee it would do the same thing. Maybe it wouldn't look, it definitely wouldn't look as good from a graphical interface. It wouldn't look fancy and fit in with their icons and stuff. But it would do it. I should run that experiment. It wouldn't take that long. So in that case, that's why they give this away free. It's not a world-beating kind of thing, right? But if with the pro account, apparently it allows you to take this and put it into different materials that you would use for your marketing messaging. But if it's going to base it off the same, sorry, I'm yawning. I'm really not tired. I just need to breathe, I think. Too much talking. If you were to put this, I mean, I don't know if the pro account would give you access to a better framework generator. I'm not unimpressed, but what I was noticing is the more I did it and I applied, because it'll let you do this 3 times. When I did the second one, it was even more generic and less good at it really helping you identify the main problem. I think that might be what the problem is when it comes to what it generates not being super impressive, I think. Because maybe it's just me and I'm just jaded by the videos that Don has put out, like I know the guy, Donald has put out. He does a really good job of being absolutely certain that his framework is what you need, which is what he teaches anyway, right? So, and I'm convinced, I'm sold, not sold enough to spend any money, obviously, because I'm a cheapskate. But I believe that if applied correctly, his framework will work on the messaging for our business. The trick is finding I think everything hinges upon truly understanding the core emotional motivator of our clients. And that's not easy to get at on your own, right? Because I have been doing, from a standpoint, I've been doing this business for a while now, for these different types of businesses for a while. So I think I understand the client's problems, but it doesn't always apply to every client. And as I talk to our, boots on the ground people working directly with our clients, and I listen to them, and sometimes their perspective of what the clients, if I ask them, they're going to say A, B, C, and D, but the lens they're viewing things through is the things that they help with and fix, and they understand the problem, but the client doesn't always see those things as the problem. So like with IT services, right? It's like, okay, so you're supposed to figure out what does the client want more than was the one thing the client, in this case, the hero, wants more than anything else. And I just sit and think and think and think, and maybe I'm thinking too hard about it, but what is it that they want? It's like, you think they would want to have a business that's efficient and profitable where technology doesn't get in the way or something like that. But even then, you put that as, what they want. It just seems too cliche or something like that. It's like I need to boil it down to this big, super motivated thing. And then from there, it's like, okay, so what's the problem that causes that? And as I put all these things in to this generator, it spits out, the client wants a safe, secure business for peace of mind. I'm like, that sounds like something that AI would say. No, it sounds like something generic that we'd put on a website because we're tired and we're tired of building the website. And we need a headline. This sounds great, right? So not crazy impressed with that. I don't know if the whole thing that he teaches, like if you're in a crowded room and you're talking to somebody about what you do and you say it loud enough where other people can hear it, and then someone you're not talking to hears it, it should be impactful enough that they're so curious about what it is you do, they come over and walk you and ask, right? And if I said that, no one would care. People's eyes would be like, what does that mean? So it's got to be something tied to their survival, he says, right? So, I think maybe it's just because I've been doing it for too long. It feels like when I talk to people that own businesses and I mention IT, they're like, ugh. I think what they really want to survive is to not have to have IT anymore. That's what it feels like. Obviously, that's not feasible, but people, I think ideally people want as little as possible when it comes to IT. They want to pay for sure as little as possible, but they want all the benefits of like the best technology gives them, which is efficiency, and I guess that's really what technology is meant to do, is make your business more efficient, which can affect the outcomes in multiple ways. But no one gets super excited when, you say, like if you're in the elevator and your elevator pitch is, hey, what do you do? Oh, we do IT, so we help people with their computers. That's not what you should be saying. It needs to be something like, we save people's lives because of our computer. And that's, you can't be so hyperbolic that people are like, no, you don't. No, you don't. I worked for a really good company, and I'm not going to say their name because I don't want anybody to hear it and be offended that I'm maybe saying it in a way that seems like, again, it's hyperbolic and it's like a little too disconnected. And it's not these exact words, but their soundbite was like, we improve people's lives through IT. I'm like, it's almost like, no, you don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. But I mean, you could go from here to there to here to there, and at the end say, oh, yeah, their lives are better because we do such a good job of supporting their computers while they're at work. But like, nobody thinks about it that way. So you can't expect someone to see that in the hero section of your website or on an ad, or if I'm going to talk about IT or what we do, at a show or at a meeting, or I'm talking with somebody and that's the first thing I say, it's like, they might say, really, how's that? And then I'm going to go to try to explain it, and it's going to seem like it's kind of like a clickbait kind of thing. It's not really what you're doing. You just said that so you could get my attention, right? So I guess I'm just struggling a little bit with it still. And I think mostly my problem is I tend to overthink things, and get into this paralysis of, and then I just check out and move on and get distracted and never come back. But I can't do that with this because I do think this will work. It's simple. It's effective. We just got to figure out how to turn what we do into this compelling, curiosity creating, story-based framework. I'm talking myself through it here as I'm trying to get to the end of the show. I've got to figure out how to get to the point where I truly see our clients, whether it's IT clients, whether it's healthcare clients for those things we do, or marketing clients, or if I look at our company as a whole doing all those things, our clients as a hero that is in a weak state. So they're at that point in the journey where they need someone to come alongside of them and edify them in a certain way, pick them up, point them in the right direction, give them the skills and the tools they need to go slay the dragon, right? So I think it's going to take some ruminating, to use a fancy word, on this whole thing and really think about the best clients we've had over the years, the clients that we've been able to make the biggest impact on, that's been able to make the biggest impact on our bottom line because of that, and try to really think about how we guided them in a way where they felt like we were an indispensable part of, their tool set as a hero. So, for whatever that means, we'll get there. But we are at about 4:32 here, rounding up the end of the day for episode 80 of the Business Line podcast. This has been fun. We'll monitor the situation with the NBA and the poker cheating scandal. I don't know what we're going to call this thing, but we'll see just how far down the rabbit hole this thing goes. But this is all for today. You guys take care.